Strip the titles. Yes, it's back again. The suggestion that Harry and Harry's wife should lose their titles doesn't go away. Repeatedly, this pops up as a consequence of the fact that so many people disapprove of their conduct. Kate Manzi writes in the Daily Mail, "Most Brits now say Harry should be stripped of his place as fifth in line to the throne and blocked from ever becoming king, new poll shows." As mentioned a couple of days ago, how very far he has fallen. And then only yesterday I reported on the fact that over in Singapore he found himself ignored. And now he faces increased and renewed calls to strip him of his place. Such a consideration wouldn't have even entered anybody's head years ago. They'd have regarded him as the spare, the playboy prince, and nobody would have considered the necessity of stripping him. But how has he come to this position? He got caught by the spider. Nobody thought this before he met her, but people now think it as a consequence of his behaviour, which has been entirely influenced by her. She has brought out those narcissistic traits of his, the resentments that he has, the argumentativeness, the anger, and he's been emboldened by the poison that she has poured in his ear. He wouldn't have behaved like this previously. He's only behaved like this because of being caught in her ensnarement, her manipulations, the weasel words that she whispers in his ear, and because he's not particularly bright, easily led, and governed by his emotional thinking, he's fallen prey to it. The article explains that more than half of the population would support Prince Harry being removed from the order of succession to prevent him ever becoming king. An exclusive poll for the Mail on Sunday reveals. Of the 1,504 people questioned by Delta poll, 52% supported the move to strip the Duke of Sussex of his position as fifth in line to the throne, behind his brother, the Prince of Wales, and William's children, George, Charlotte, and loose cannon Louis. Only 27% of people opposed the idea of stripping Harry of his birthright, and 21% had no view. Furthermore, 51% of those polled said that Harry and his young family should have their titles revoked. At present, the Prince and his wife retain their titles as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and their children, Archie IV and Lilibet II, can use their titles as Prince and Princess, as they are the grandchildren of the reigning monarch, King Charles. Notably, the poll reveals that Prince Harry's popularity has taken a downturn since the death of the Queen. People were asked, "How would you say your view of Prince Harry has changed, if at all, since the passing of Queen Elizabeth in September 2022? Some 45% said their opinion of Harry had deteriorated in the past year, while only 12% said it had improved. Lord knows what those people have been consuming to form the view that their view of him has improved by 12%, but there we are, different perspectives, I suppose. The Prince and Princess of Wales fared much better in the opinion ratings, with 76% saying that they thought that both Prince William and Catherine were doing well in their new roles. Now, why is that? Well, could it be that they're getting on and engaging in the service for which they both agreed that they would undertake? Could well be. Could it also be that they haven't spent any time playing the victim? Might it also be that they haven't spent any time throwing pelters at members of the family? They will have their views about the behaviour of certain family members, particularly Harry and Harry's wife, but they haven't gone around throwing mud like Harry and Harry's wife have. They've been dignified, and of course, pursuant to excellent advice, have recognised the value of staying well away from the Sussexes, particularly Harry's wife. They then reap the dividends of this approach. By not playing the victim, by not smearing, by not behaving reprehensibly, and getting on and doing the job for which they have signed up for, people praise them. Of course, you might think, Well, there is an excellent example for you, Harry, and for Harry's wife. Look at the Prince and Princess of Wales and how they behave. Just replicate that. And that's all you needed to have done. But no. Harry's wife couldn't do that because she had to be the grand fromage. She had to be numero uno. And when it was apparent that she wasn't going to be, her narcissism kicked off about that. Failed to harness the institution, as I've said many times, and instead sought to fight it. And rather than get on and do the simple thing, which is meet the people, shake their hands, take an interest, cut the ribbons, make the public appearances, and be supported by an apparatus that has worked for centuries and enjoy a life of privilege, instead, she caused all of that to come crashing down for her and Harry. All they needed to do was follow the Prince and Princess of Wales's model, and people would like them. But no, Harry's wife, of course, thought she knew better. She didn't need the royal family. Instead, she just wanted to keep talking about them and keep using the title, and then go away and merch it all. The article continues by explaining that most people also chose Prince William as the senior royal best placed to secure the future of the Commonwealth. The poll results raise the question of if Harry should be also stripped of his constitutional role as a Councillor of State, which technically allows him to stand in for his father on matters of state. It comes as Buckingham Palace recently deleted any reference to Harry as His Royal Highness on the official royal website. The poll also revealed a boost for King Charles. The majority of those questioned, 70%, said the king was performing his duties well as he nears the end of his first year on the throne. So, good news for the king, positive fuel for him, with 70% supporting what he's doing. Good news for William the Normal and Catherine the Empath, with regard to the approval that they have received, and once again, bad news for the Sussexes, with a repeated claim that their titles ought to be stripped from them. It's no surprise, because they've become such figures of derision and dislike. And it's all as a consequence of the conduct and behaviours of Harry's wife. She can cry for as much as she likes that it's brought by haters and racists. Everybody else, apart from a rump of idiots, knows that she's brought it on herself. And you all know, as a consequence of my work, that it is the collateral consequence of the way that she has behaved as she has pursued subconsciously the prime aims, which has now left her and her husband facing considerable unpopularity and repeated calls for their titles to be stripped from them. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.